ठीक है. ऑल राइट. सो पॉइंट इज कि वी ऑलरेडी नो अबाउट लाइक बेसिक्स ऑफ जावास्क्रिप्ट. ठीक है, हमें वेर लेट कॉन्स्ट के बारे में पता है. वी ऑलरेडी नो अबाउट द क्रोम डेव टूल्स. क्रोम में जो भी डेव टूल्स हैं वो कैसे वर्क करते हैं, यू नो दैट पार्ट. टाइप क्वेश्चंस के बारे में हमने देखा था. ठीक है, कि हाउ डज टाइप क्वेश्चन वर्क. डिड आई डिस्कस अबाउट फंक्शन? फंक्शन हो चुका है क्या?
होस्टिंग हो गया है।
फंक्शन की होस्टिंग हो गई है.
Hosting-
ओके, होस्टिंग होस्टिंग इज नॉट डन, राइट?
जैसे ये सर।
ठीक है, होस्टिंग कर लेते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल फंक्शन में हमने एटलीस्ट ये तो देखा था कि एक नॉर्मल फंक्शन है हमारे पास. देन और उसमें हम ऑप्शनल आर्गुमेंट्स के बारे में भी हमने डिस्कस करा था, राइट? कि वी कैन पास ऑप्शनल आर्गुमेंट. इज दिस डन, और या फिर मैं रिवाइज करा दूँ एक बार? शुड आई डू रिविजन?
हेलो सर। ये
यस.
सब विजिबल है।
ओके ओके, ठीक है. सो होस्टिंग इज क्लियर, और शुड आई रिपीट दिस वन ऑल्सो?
सर
ओके.
रिपीट, कैन यू रिपीट प्लीज?
ओके ओके, नो इश्यूज. ओके, लेट्स गो विद दिस वन. ठीक है. माय पॉइंट इज कि देयर आर थ्री वेज, ठीक है, टू हैव अ वेरिएबल. द थ्री वेज आर आइदर गो विद लेट, और गो विद कॉन्स्ट, और गो विद वैर. ठीक है, दीज आर द थ्री वंस. माय पॉइंट इज कि वी हैव लेट, वी हैव वैर, वी हैव कॉन्स्ट. ठीक है, वी हैव दीज थ्री ऑफ देम, और एक और वैर है यहाँ पर. ठीक है, एंड वी नो दैट कि इसकी जो डेटा टाइप की जो वैल्यू है वो रन टाइम पे पता चलती है जावास्क्रिप्ट को. वी डू नॉट हैव टू राइट इंट, फ्लोट, बूलियन बिफोर हैंड. जब ये असाइन होगी ना तो खुद पता चल जाएगा कि दिस इज अ बूलियन. माई फर्स्ट पॉइंट इज दिस. नेक्स्ट इज कि हम फंक्शन जो है नॉर्मल फंक्शन जैसे हम लिखते थे वैसे हम लिख रहे हैं. लेट वेर कॉन्स्ट हमने इसमें लिख दिया, एंड वी कैन कंसोल इट. कंसोल इज जस्ट लाइक सिस्टम प्रिंट आउट. वन मोर पॉइंट टू ऐड हियर इज कि हम इसमें नेस्टेड फंक्शन रख सकते हैं. नेस्टेड फंक्शन रख सकते हैं मतलब ये फंक्शन के इनसाइड फंक्शन रख सकते हैं. उसको भी मैंने यहाँ पे कॉल कर दिया, विच इज़ अ बिट यूनिक. ठीक है, हम क्लासेस के अंदर फंक्शन रखते हैं जावा में, सी प्लस प्लस में, वो समझना. बट हम क्लासेस यहाँ पर हम फंक्शन के अंदर फंक्शन लिख सकते हैं, और मैं उसी के अंदर उसको कॉल कर दिया. ये तो थी नॉर्मल फंक्शन. ठीक है, इसके बाद जो हमने पढ़ा था दैट वाज फंक्शन एक्सप्रेशन. ये थोड़ा सा नया कॉन्सेप्ट. कहने का मतलब ये है कि हम फंक्शन को सिर्फ लिख ही नहीं सकते हैं, हम उस फंक्शन को किसी वेरिएबल में भी स्टोर करा सकते हैं. क्या होगा इससे? इस वेरिएबल को कॉल कर लेंगे डायरेक्टली. यही होगा अभी तक के लिए. बिकॉज ये जो फंक्शन का नाम है ना, ये फंक्शन का नाम बाहर विजिबल नहीं होगा अगर हमने उसको फंक्शन एक्सप्रेशन जैसा बना दिया. एक्सप्रेशन का मतलब ही है कि फंक्शन आप लिखो और उसको किसी वेरिएबल के अंदर घुसा दो, एंड इन ऑर्डर टू कॉल इट यू जस्ट कॉल दिस फंक्शन. सो एंड दिस इज नॉट एक्सेसिबल आउटसाइड, मतलब ये बाहर एक्सेसिबल नहीं, आप फंक्शन सिक्स बाहर नहीं लिख सकते. तो ये किस काम का है? दिस इज यूज फॉर रिकर्जन. सेम फंक्शन कॉल इट सेल्फ. दिस समथिंग लाइक रिकर्जन, राइट? ऑल राइट. अच्छा, सो this were the things. Function expression was the new thing. Coming back to the hosting part. Now, hosting part says, okay, hosting part says that if I have a variable here and I want to print them, तो I can easily print it downwards. मैं कंसोल लगा सकता हूँ यहाँ पे, कंसोल ए बी सी बी ए सी बी सी और सी ए बी मैं यहाँ पे प्रिंट करा सकता हूँ. बट आई वॉन्टेड टू डू समथिंग एल्स. वॉट इज दैट? I wanted to call these function before even initializing them. BCA यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ आई वांट टू कॉल इट लाइन नंबर 17, जब ये लाइन नंबर 25 पे लिखा हुआ. द सेम गोज विद 24 एंड 23. लेट को मैं यहाँ पे कॉल करना चाहता हूँ, एंड द वेयर इज बीइंग कॉल्ड एट लाइन नंबर 15. कैन आई डू दिस? लेट्स सी. I will copy the path and I will say, so where at line number 15 is, this is printed but this is not printed. BAC is giving undefined. This is one part. Okay, this is the first line. Coming to the second line, ABC before initialization, cannot access ABC before initialization. It means that let cannot be printed before it is defined or declared. But my point is, and the same with const also, okay? Same behavior with const also. My point is, why it is not giving error at for where at line number 15? Why error is coming at line number 16? This is because of hoisting. What do I mean by hoisting? Whatever variables and function we see now, these get declared at the top of function, top of the script. Okay? These variable go and sit here, this function go and sit here, everything goes and sit up. Okay? Now when JavaScript encounters the variables, it is already knowing before evaluating any variable or running any function. JavaScript already know about the complete file, what are the variable and what are the function. This is already known. But the question would come in mind is, it means that JavaScript is seeing the file two times. If I say, please give me all the list before running anything, so you have to go the file two times, right? Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, this is indeed correct. JavaScript read complete file twice. In first read, it take all the variables functions and put at the top, which we call as hosting. Remember, this is only called hosting. That is why this where is not giving an issue. So if I just comment these two lines now, they will work totally fine. Let me show you. So if I comment that, so where is there and 45? Like obviously like line number 54 has some error, another issue. Okay, but my point is, at least this is work. डिक्लेरेशन गोज अपवर्ड्स नॉट द असाइनमेंट. ठीक है, मतलब कि सिर्फ वेर बीएससी वाला ही पार्ट ऊपर जाएगा. दैट इज वाई इट इज कमिंग अनडिफाइंड. एरर नहीं आ रहा. एंड 56 is also not coming. 56 is known at line number 24. It means that after line number 24 if you print BSc, तब जाके 56 प्रिंट होगा. ठीक है, बट दिस इज द पॉइंट. होस्टिंग तो सारी होती है, लेट अवेयर कौन सबकी होस्टिंग होती है, बट यू कैनॉट एक्सेस एवरी ऑफ देम. ठीक है, माय पॉइंट इज दिस. So, like, okay, so where has hosting? One thing. Next is let const is known key. Those are in the file. Okay, because of first parsing, JavaScript takes everything top, and then second parsing it evaluates the functions. My point here is, do we have hosting anywhere else apart from where? Do you guys know about any other hosting? This is variable hosting, right? BAC is here, line number 24. 15 number line is executing it. Otherwise, it is printing undefined. I am not saying that it will print the value, but yeah, it is not giving error anyways. Tell me, is the function hosted or not? Function one is written at line number 28. I am calling it line number 19. Is it hosted here? What do you guys think? Yes, I okay, we can see that function 1 will work totally fine. Let me refresh. It's a function 60 true undefined. It's a function 60 ABC, BAC true, and CAB undefined. Why is the CAB undefined? Anything did go wrong? CAB, why CAB is coming undefined? Uh, this is strange. CB shouldn't be coming undefined. And we have a nested function, so we can have, anyways, we can have nested functions. So that's not a problem here. My point is, why are we having CAB as undefined? This is indeed accessible, right? CAB. CAB, which is 90 over here, should turn out as 90. But indeed it's coming instead. All right, let me declare just a second. So what happens now when we have the same variable inside? Okay, it is printing now. All right, it means where is not accessible. Oh, okay. Let me hide this. Now tell me guys, the question is for you. I know. CAB, okay, CAB is here, line number 26. Make sense? Function 1 is called at line number 19. When the function call is going on, is line number 26 done or not? When I call 19 line, it means that this 26 is not yet executed. Are you guys getting my point? Function call is at 19. 26, this CAB variable which is inside this function is at line number 9, sorry, 26. It means that a moment I am calling this function, this CAB is not defined yet. Guys, that is what it is happening, right? As per the code, we can tell like why do we need to check the statement also. That is what we have written, right? My point is where just this part goes in hosting, just the declaration part, but function is completely hosted to the top with its body. That is why function 1 is running and not giving any error before we have even declared the or defined the function. Complete function go in hosting at the top. That is why function 1 is running. Although ABC and BCA, these two are local variables of the function. That is why those are printed perfectly. CAB is not a local variable. It is line number 26, which is not yet declared, sorry, which is not yet defined. That is why we are getting as undefined. Same, due to same reason, we are getting BAC also undefined using the where before it is being defined or assigned. So where works, no error, but undefined. Function works completely, nothing, no conditions. Function will work totally fine. Write function anywhere in your file and call it at the top, it will work totally fine. Is this point clear, guys? Are you guys getting the point?
Clear, clear, sir.
Okay. So this is called hosting. So second one is function hosting, first one is variable hosting. Okay. Now tell me, function expression you guys know now. Okay, this store a function in variable and you can call the variable, so this will work. My point is, here it is saying let function 5. Okay, is will this function 5 work, or what do you think? Remember, hosting is just for where, not for let and const, and this function is a stored in let. So will this function 5 work or not? Let's see that. So this function, okay, let me just clear this first so that we can know. It is saying where undefined. Where undefined. Where is where undefined? Okay, so this one is done. Okay. Function 5 is at line number 21. Function cannot access function 5 before initialization. Same reason why we cannot access it, because now this function 5 is not just a simple function. I'm talking hosting of simple function. This is not a simple function, it is function expression, and function expression get hosted but we cannot access them. Okay, only normal functions are hosted, these functions are not hosted. Is the point clear, guys? Hosting.
Yes, sir. Clear, clear, sir.
All right, moving to the next point. Okay, moving to the next point. Um, I wanted to talk about something. Uh, See, this is hosting in global scope. What is global scope?
This code means we can access anywhere, like any nested or any.
Uh, the way your voice is coming very low.
It's accessing anywhere, sir. That way,
Yeah.
inside the nested groups or any
Okay.
problem.
So my point is, global scope is basically outside of every function. Okay, and neither in the function or in the class or for or if. Okay. So this is the global scope. Okay, outside of everything. My point is, when we come to this function now, inside the function, okay, inside the function also hosting happens. Hosting happen means everything is here goes at the top of the function. Okay, top of the function, not in the global scope. Global hosting is different. Global hosting, every global thing comes over here. Inside the function also hosting takes place. For example, if my statement is correct, then this should happen. BAC is where, okay? It means that I will write here some identifier in function func1 comma BAC. Okay, so BAC should come here. Hosting is happening then. Okay, all right, and let me switch off this. Okay, will it will create confusion, so I will just focus in this function hosting. And when I try to call this nested, okay, I will try to call this nested. Nested is defined here. Okay, the only work of nested is to print nested. Okay, the only work of nested is to print nested. It means that inside the function also hosting is happening. Remember, this nested function is inside function 1, which is a local function, so you cannot access it outside function 1. Nested function can only be accessed inside the function. Okay? Because it's a local variable, kind of local variable. And as the same variables, like these three cannot be accessed outside. Okay? That's the point. My point is, inside this function, the hosting is happening. So let me do this. Okay? Let me comment this out. Let me comment this out. Now, function 1 is having a console. Function 1 is having a function call which is nested inside it in the bottom. Okay? And I am having two console inside function 1 which is trying to print BAC. Okay? So, as per my theory, like as per JavaScript functionality, these hosting come at the top of the function. It means that BAC should be undefined and nested should work totally fine. Let's check it out. I will clear this one. In function 1, undefined and nested is being printed. Okay, it means that hosting happen inside the function also and outside the function also. And hosting will work only for two things, var and normal functions. Are the points clear, guys? Any doubts in this?
Clear, yes.
All right, Rajat, everything clear?
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Let's proceed forward. We'll talk more about the differences later. But this is what we had in hosting. Okay. Acha. Anything else should we discuss? Okay. One thing to add, and we'll discuss it in detail later. My point is, two scopes we already know from Java. One is global scope and one is function scope. That is all known to us, right, guys? Guys, we know the function and the global scope, or function scope or local scope, both are the same thing. My point is, do you guys see that in for loop, if you write int I is equals to 10, you cannot access, you can only access that I inside the loop, you cannot access I outside the loop. Am I right, guys?
Yes, yes, right, sir.
It means that that for loop is also creating a scope.
Yes, yes.
That is why you cannot access any variable declared inside for loop outside the for loop. It means that there is a scope also. Those kind of scope happen with if also, if else. So if you write any variable in if else, you cannot access outside if else. It you have to use it there. That is why my lex_var, which is lexical variable. What is lexical? Lexical matlab environment means scope, or the environment where things are created, where my code exists. That is what lexical is. I'm saying that let lex_var, as per Java we already know. Come to JavaScript, lex_var you can print 45, but line number 58 will throw error. Let's see that. I will cut this. Lex_var is not defined. 45 is being printed. Line number 58 is throwing an error. It is saying that how can you use lex_var outside of a scope? Is this point clear, guys?
This is clear, sir.
Now tell me, where where to, let's name it anything, and let's use a string a. Okay. Now you do not have to give any data type because it is already assigned at runtime. Okay. Now my point is, instead of lex var, if I want to access var2, can I access it, or it will throw error?
No, sir. You cannot access through an error.
Let's see. It may be a surprise. So yes, we can access where outside the if loop. But don't worry, you cannot access where outside of a function. Sorry, you cannot access this inner where outside. JavaScript has three kind of scopes: global, function. Okay. So we are introduced with a new scope. Okay, we are introduced with a new scope. We already know that. I'm saying that there are three scope: global scope, global variables, function scope or local scope. Okay, and lexical scope. Lexical scope. This is lexical scope. My point is, only where does not follow the lexical scope. It means that if you have where inside the lexical scope, no, it will be outside accessible also. Although this is a exception, ठीक है, this is exception for where, ठीक है, if condition for loop they have lexical scope. ठीक है, let and const are a newer addition to JavaScript. They follow lexical scoping also. ठीक है, so those will work fine. They will not be accessible outside if or for, but where does not follow these rules, so it will be accessible outside the lexical scope. So these are the three scopes and the difference between let, const, and where. Is it clear till now, guys?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
All right. So this takes us to the next step, which is, let's talk about what happens. Okay. So we have done these points. Okay. So if you have any doubt, please feel free to ask. Okay. We are done with the function, hosting, and overloading thing. Overloading we'll discuss. Okay. Otherwise, you can have a look at it. Not that important, but yeah, you can have always have a look at it. Functions and scope. Scopes are done. Global scope, function, and lexical are done. Let's come to execution context. My point is, we already know about recursion. Okay, recursion we already know. Now here is the point. The point is, if you guys remember about recursion, let me connect my pen, guys. If you remember about recursion, this is what something was happening. For example, there is a function one. Okay, there is a function one. Recursion, it called function two. It called function 3, it called function 4, till the base case is hit. When the base case is hit, you tell a return. Whenever you return from the function, what happens to the function? It get popped out of the stack, isn't it, guys?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Remember the execution stack from Java?
sir. I remember.
It's the
Got it.
same thing. ठीक है, no difference. ठीक है, this is out, this is out, this is out, and finally this is out once it has returned. Now function only reside in the memory in the stack till it is in running or pending state. No other state, running or pending, that's it. My point is, whenever they go out, like go out of, like, okay, we'll discuss that part later. My point is, whenever they're in the stack, there is an object maintained in JavaScript. Okay, firstly, this function has access to its local variable and environment. Environment means where it is defined. For example, in our case, my function one is this variable are accessible to my function, which is inside my function. and the outside variable where the function is defined, those are also accessible inside the function. Is it clear, guys? uh, Guys?
So clear, clear.
Yes. So this is environment means where it is defined. Okay. Firstly, these are accessible. Secondly, a reference to outer environment. A reference to outer environment. We'll discuss this part later. Okay. We'll discuss the reference part later. Means outer environment reference is kept. Okay. This will be needed when we study about closures in JavaScript. Okay. So just let's wait for some time. We'll discuss this also. This part is we already know from Java. There is third thing which is also there. We call it this. Remember this? What is this? Anyone remember this keyword from Java? This points to the current object, isn't it, guys? Did it ring any
Yes,
bell?
yes.
Yes. All right. So these are the three things which are accessible when a function is in the execution stack. All right. So moving to the next one, function expression is already done. Okay, named function expression and normal function expression. So already saw that, right? So this is a named function expression, and this is an anonymous function expression without any name. Okay. The point is type of error JavaScript. Please follow this. Okay, I have listed it over here, so I will talk about some of them, but please go through it. Okay, this is good for you. Function is a parameter nested function, so we already are done with this thing that we can have a nested function inside a function. We already know this, right? We discussed this point. The point is function as a parameter. Let's see this. Anyone can tell what is function as a parameter? Anyone wants to throw some light?
I think,
uh, do I want to say something? Anyways, okay. Let's see this. The point is, I can have a parameter. I will call it CB. Okay, I will call it CB. What is CB? We'll discuss. And this CB is callable. It means that it is a function which is passed in a parameter. Is this possible? Yes, it is possible in case of JavaScript. How does this run? So function as param. So function as param. Okay. You can pass any function, it will be called inside. Okay. Should I pass function 5? Let's pass function 5. Function 5. So function 5, what is the work of function 5? Function 5 put a console. It means that I am passing this function over and it function line number 62 says call this function. Will it be called? Okay, let's see. So is this console printed or not? Function expression, right? Line number 50. All right. Let's see. Yes, line number 50 is printed. So this is how we can pass a function as a parameter. Is this point clear, guys?
yes, got it, got it.
All right. So if this is clear, let's proceed. Now, anyone wants to tell about prompt alert confirm? What is prompt? What is alert? All right. Let's see this. You guys have seen something like this. We'll discuss about this window. Let's use it for now. Window. All right. Dot alert, and let me write a message. So this is a alert. I hope all of you have seen something like this, right? So this is how we generate a alert, like writing an email or maybe like editing Excel sheets. So when you close the tab, it says, "Are you sure you want to close?" Or like changes are unsaved or something like. Have you guys seen this?
Yes, sir. Since
All right. So we have something called as prompt also. Okay, prompt. Window.prompt is enter password. Some of the sites are protected also. Okay, some of the sites are protected. How it works is you need to enter the password to open or visit the site. So you can use a window.prompt. Now this says is the first argument here is message. Second is the default by default value you have. Okay, it is 12. You can change this to ABC and you can press OK or cancel. When you do cancel, you get undefined. When you do OK, you get the value in a string. This is window.prompt. And one last for you guys is confirm. Let's see. Are you sure to exit? It is asking. Is the user sure to exit? Like we sometime when you close a tab, this kind of message also would have come. I'm not sure that, but yeah. If you want to do this, you can use this confirm function. You click OK, it says true. When you click cancel, it says false. So these are the three things you can perform. Try it out. Okay, you can just play with it. Try it out. Try this part out. All right. Okay. Give me just a quick thing. We are done with arrays, right? And object also. Guys, we are done with this, right? Or not yet?
yes, yes.
Okay. So, Nikhil, Rajat, we are done with the arrays, right? Or should I proceed to?
Yes, sir. We are done with that.
So should I proceed to object? All
Yes,
right. Okay.
sir.
Just a quick revision. I guess I started object also, but anyways, it does. It's fine. It's totally fine. We can have one more discussion. My point is, there are two ways to have an object. Either we go with this curly braces, we call it object literal way, literal object literal, just a symbol. Otherwise, we have this way, which is new object. This object is capital O object. It is already defined in JavaScript. It is the base object for every object created. Similar to Java, if you remember. Okay. This also has lots of functions, and it is a already a predefined capital O object. So these are the two ways. When we use new keyword, guys, any guesses? What happens? When we
Creates the new reference.
object, right?
Yes, yes, new object.
All right. So you have a class, you have data members, you have member functions, and you want to create an object. Let obj is equals to new. If the name of your class is car, let's say car. So let obj is equals to new car. And when you do new car, what is called? Which function is called?
Our function is called.
Constructor function, right?
Sorry, constructor. Sorry.
Remember that super keyword and all those things from Java. Okay, the constructor is called firstly. The use of constructor is to initialize the data members, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. The same thing is happening here. No difference in those flow. Same thing is happening. And if you also remember, this object creation happens in heap memory. Heap memory. Okay, let's do a quick revision, guys. How many of you know about heap memory and what is special about it?
Shows the dynamic allocated.
All right. Now, these are the three things. Again, these are the three components. Your complete storage by means RAM, random access memory, is loads the complete program. Whenever there is a execution, program execution, your program is loaded into RAM. Okay, it is not in the hard disk. Why RAM? Because RAM is faster than hard disk. Okay, that is why hard disk is cheaper and RAM is costly. Okay, and the registers are more costly. The processor are the costliest because of their speed. Okay, so for the same price you will get a small RAM. For the same price you will get, then the cache is there, cache is also there, and then at last registers or the processor is there. The processor is the costliest, right? RAM is more costly because everything which has a fast operation has to be loaded inside the RAM. Now my point is, whenever a function is in execution, three things are created: heap memory, logical, okay, not partition does not happen physical, logical partition, global and constant, global slash constant, and the stack. Whenever you say new keyword, a new space is allocated in the heap memory. This object reference object is created in the heap memory. This reference, in other hand, is stored in the inside the stack. Global and constant, the lowest, okay? So we should allow. Okay, that is why you have, maybe I'm not sure. Maybe you have heard that we should avoid global variables. Why should avoid global variables? This is the reason. Function in execution goes into the stack, and the variable reference for the heap goes in here. My point is, whenever you say new keyword, a new space is allocated in the heap memory. The same happens with the JavaScript object also. Is the memory allocation clear, guys? Guys,
Clear, please.
all right. My point is, object holds key value pairs, just like dictionary. Okay, key value pairs. Keys are here, values are here. So obj dot a equals to 10, obj dot b equals to true, and keys are unique in here. My point is, hash map. We already know about hash map. This is how hash map works. We have keys and values. The same thing is happening here also. The point is that um, the keys are always a string in nature. Remember, a string in nature. Values can be anything. Values can be any data type. Okay, there's no point. Values can be anything, but the keys are always have to be a string. Number point is that I can use a complete string with a space inside it. Okay, although I cannot use this dot operator, otherwise it will throw me error because is having a space in variable name is not allowed. Are you guys clear with this part? Valid variable names. We should write valid variable names, right? So A looks like a valid name, B looks like a valid name. -2 does not look like a valid name, obviously. Okay, so that is why we have to use something like this, similar to array. Okay, array indexing we put inside this square bracket, and we can have any kind of value stored as over here. The point is, a object can have another object. We call it nested object. Nested object. So this is how a object structure looks like. JavaScript is an object-oriented programming language because we can have data members. Okay? Keys and values can have look like data member. You will say, sir, classes have function also. Okay, so let's do that also. So this object can have function also. This is also possible. Function, obj function. You can have function over there, not an issue. Okay, console.log and function and object. So yes, indeed it will work. It will work totally fine. So object is capable of holding data. Object is capable of holding function. It means that we do not need a class here. We do not need a class in JavaScript because our object is capable of doing this thing without having any class. Now, this is I want all of you to pay attention. We don't have any class yet, although I have already created an object and using it, assigning values to it, assigning data members and member functions to it. Yes, this is totally possible in JavaScript. Okay, and we have this. If I print this one, all right. Hey, is this printed? Okay, let me copy the path. All right, let's print object. So I have all the keys and values over here. How do I access it? I can simply say obj.a and I'm able to access it. How should I access this -2 or I am a string? So I cannot do -2 as I assigned it the same way I will call it. Yeah. How do I call the function? Very simple. Function one obj dot function one I can call the function two. So these are the ways to access the property with the help of keys. All right. What do we have next? So these are the key value pairs. We can add the property. We already saw that. Okay. Square brackets we already discussed. Heap storage we just discussed. How do we delete it? Any guys want to? Anyone want to suggest how do we delete an property in object?
OBJ.get.
Delete function. Okay. So we have something like this, and it will delete the value. Okay. Let's see that part. All right. Okay. So do we have obj.ea still? No, we don't have that because we have deleted it. How can I delete complete object?
Delete OBJ.
All right. Delete ob. Okay. This has been strange. Let me check. Why is it still visible to us? Obj still visible. Is obj1 visible? Obj1 is empty. Okay, let me add some values to it. Obj1 dot a is equals to value. All right. So I'm deleting obj, right? Okay, let's do one thing. Empty cache and hard reload. Is obj1 still available? All right. Why can't I delete this one? I have an issue. Okay. One more thing, guys. Since we are moving to web development, I want to guide you guys to something. How to debug an issue. Maybe you can find it right away, or maybe it will take some time. But in both cases, let's go with this. Delete. So can't delete JavaScript base object and no, it may be directly related to what you have. Okay. but it may be the thing. It will not do this. There are certain rules for delete operator in JavaScript. If the property is an own non-configurable property in a strict mode, then it will return false. Hmm. All right. So it says that create the object property Y on the global object and it marks it as non-configurable. Okay. If the object inherit a property from prototype and does not have property itself, the property can't be deleted by reference. You can put it directly on the. You can access the prototype thing later, but my point is, if this is direct, create a property X on the global object, then we can delete it. Otherwise, you cannot delete it. All right. Let me check one thing, then we'll discuss it. Okay, what I'm writing. So global object for this is an object, right? This dot a is supposed to. How is this possible? We'll discuss it later. Just one thing. Otherwise, we'll discuss it afterwards. Don't worry, guys. So we have a over here. How is this working? So delete a. Can I delete this? It is saying true. Can I access a now? Not alert. Okay, yeah, it is working. See, my point here is, guys, as per the bug we are, not the bug, the issue we are seeing over here is, it says that if a property is a non-configured property in a strict mode, then it will return false. We'll study more about a strict mode and sloppy mode. So in a strict mode, we cannot delete it later because of maybe with security purpose and to avoid errors. We are. But anyways, it brings us to a new conclusion that if it is not the string, cannot. Sorry, if it is in a strict mode, we cannot delete object. All right. Okay. Anything else we want to add over here? Let's see that. Now, so these are the properties and addition, deletion, and all those parts. Coming to cloning object, okay? So we are going to learn some new properties. I will mark this as comment because how can this accessible? This depends on an object. What's the current object? So where did this come from? That is a separate part of discussion. Coming back, cloning object, okay? Cloning object. Okay, we already have an object obj. Okay, how can I make a clone of my object? Will this work, guys? Guys, what do you think? Yes or no? I wanted to
Yes.
create a clone. Okay, so I've created a clone of my object. Okay, so we have clone obj, which is clone of object. Okay, with these properties. Now let's verify that. So once we are going to verify that, we have obj, then we have clone obj. Why am I not seeing this variable? Clone obj, right? Yes, clone obj. All right, it is here. Okay, so I have obj and I have clone obj. So we have all the properties over. Now my point is dot a is equals to 90. Okay, let's see. Clone obj dot a is 90. Now I want to know one thing, guys. I cloned this clone obj from obj. What is the value of a in obj?
90 sir.
Huh? Can you please repeat?
90. 90, 97.
10. Oh.
1990, sir. 90.
90. Okay, very correct. Yes, it is correct. It is 90. Can I have the reason behind it?
Well, sir, there's two are referencing to the same memorabilities.
Very correct. Very correct. Just the name is different. They are referring to the same object. Is it clear to everyone? The name is different, but reference to both of you. Okay. So this is the point. What is the way? The way is we call it first way for cloning. So we just discuss cloning and we are done. The first way, how do we clone is spread operator. How does this spread work? Let's now instead of doing this, if I have done this obj, let's do the same thing again. Okay, a spread operator. How? What is a spread operator? Three dots before any object. Three dots in an object. Obj clone obj clone obj dot a is equals to 89. All right. Now clone obj dot is 89. Clone obj is 89, and let's check obj. A is 10. So this is first way to properly clone a object, which is a spread operator. It is spreads means it will throw all the properties in here and it will be a new object in itself with a new memory location because of this new curly braces. With this curly braces, same thing. New curly braces means new heap memory allocation. Is this way clear for cloning?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Let's see the next step. Next one says assign property. How does this assign work? Let's see. Capital object, which is the constructor function, okay, has a property assign inside it. Two arguments are there, target and source. There are two arguments, which is target and assignment. Sorry, assignment, or you can say say source. So target is there and source is there. Target means the target object which we want to clone the values into, and source can be where are the values coming from. Target means what is the object we want to throw values into. Source means from where the value should come. So value should come from obj and it should be thrown into the curly braces. Let's see how it works. So I will clear this. This is clone obj1. Clone obj1. Clone obj1 is having 10. Let's make a to 980. Okay? Which is this. Okay? Clone obj. Okay? Is clone of obj. So let's check obj dot a is still 10. Okay, so this is one more way of cloning, which is object dot assign. Is it clear, guys?
Yes, sir. Clear, clear, sir.
Acha, I want to say something like this can be any object. Okay, already existing object you can use over here as a target to have all the values. All the values means this second argument can have more than one argument. It's not that. Okay, we can have two, three, four. All the values will be combined and thrown into the target object. Source can be many objects and it will be thrown inside this object. This is the thing, guys. Okay. All right. Um, there is one of the last thing. Okay. We can discuss it. Or okay. So we have something called as parse and stringify. I'll just introduce the method and we'll do it later. So there is something called as JSON. I want you guys to have a look at it. So I'll just introduce it. We call it, there is a way to store data, share data. Okay, there's a way to share or store data. We call it JSON, JavaScript Object Notation. You are hearing it correct. We already have the object, but it is a different type. It is an object with some rules inside it. How does that work? As JSON says, JSON JavaScript Object Notation has two useful functions. First one is it stringify. It says I can convert any object to a string. Okay, I can convert any object to a string, and that object can be reverted back. Okay, reverted back with a function called parse, which can have this. We can have this. So third method is JSON is stringify. JSON is a way to store data. I will share a link with you. Please go through it. We have two methods. Convert the object to string first and a string back to the object. Convert. JSON is a new way to store data. Two methods, string and parse. Stringify, convert this object to a string and then parse it back to object. How does this work? Let's see. So clone object 2 is a string format of our obj. Okay, obj's string format is here. Now I can parse it back to object with parsed obj. Parsed. Yes, so I have got my object back from string. My point is parsed obj dot a is equals to 900. Parsed obj is this, dot a is 900 and obj dot a is. So again, we have successfully cloned the object with three different methods: parse, stringify, assign, and spread. Is this method clear, guys? Is it clear,
Yes,
guys?
yes, sir.
All right. So this is what we had, guys. Okay. I hope you got to learn something, and we'll continue things on Sunday. Okay. All
Okay, sir.
right. Okay. So before you guys leave, please let's mark the attendance. So Feb. All right. So Vikas is not here. Suraj is not here. Suraj is not here. Ramchan Mane, Rajat is here. Puso is not here. Nikhil is here, right? Nikhil. Hey, Nikhil. Hello.
Yes,
All right. Doga is here. Dilip is not here. Guys, I'm seeing very low attendance. Like class 2 3 years. Do you guys like have any feedback? Like, if you want me to improve something, like anything, any thoughts would you are welcome to like say those. Anything, guys, from your end, or is it going fine?
It's going fine, sir.
sir.
Yeah, Nikhil.
Hello, sir. For project purpose, we need help. Not today, but in upcoming lectures.
Oh, please put forward your doubt. Okay, if
Oh, yes, sir.
we can
Sure.
discuss that. Rajat, anything?
No, sir. Thank you.
All right, guys. All right. Let's meet on Sunday. Bye, guys.
Sure,
Thank you,
sir.
sir. Thank you.
Bye, sir.
Bye.